Well, hello, boys and girls. As you know, today we are celebrating mental health and trying to find ways to understand how to take care of ourselves mentally and the things, the strategies that we can use to calm down when people are frustrated or stressed or sad. And I'll tell you what works for me. For me, it's a nice, beautiful kitty cat. As you can see, I have my kitty cat right here. His name is Freddie. He's named after the famous musician Freddie Mercury from the band Queen. And today we're going to talk about cats and how we can use cats to help our stresses go away. Now, some of us might be allergic. That's okay. Life is still worth living. I'm not sure how, but life is still worth living for you. I'll give you the top 50 reasons why I like cats right now. Number one, their friendship is magical. A cat is not a dumb beast who just loves you unconditionally like a dog or a raccoon. A cat is a beautiful creature who, once you accept him or her, they accept you back. A second reason is for me, there's not much I enjoy more than a nice wet kitty cat nose. Isn't that right, Freddie? I'm touching Freddie's nose right now. I'm touching his nose. Number three, the second best thing to a nice wet kitty cat nose is a nice wet kitty cat kiss. And I'm going to demonstrate what that looks like. Freddie, can I get a kiss from you? Come on. Come on. See, we're friends. And friends kiss. Well, some friends kiss. It took me until about 10th grade where I realized, hey, Nick, stop doing that. Am I right? Oh, but cats, they are a treasure and they are a treat. All right, Freddie, you can go play. You can go play. Say goodbye to my friends. Say goodbye to my friends. Oh, I could just feel his whiskers on my face. You know, the reason why cats have whiskers is because they need to be able to feel. They need to be able to feel the places that they're going into, and they know if a place is too tight of a squeeze if they notice that their whiskers are touching it. That's true. Today I'm going to read from you this book, and this book is called Cat Love Letters. And so I'm going to spend the next, let me set a timer here, 30 minutes reading from this book, Cat Love Letters. If for some reason you think that your time would be better suited for getting into tomorrow's test, you may go to YouTube and go to the Chapter 9 playlist and hang up now. I'll allow that. But for the rest of you, kindly please sit back, relax, close your eyes, and let's talk about cats. I'm going to let Freddie go out because he's going to enjoy outside the room where we can play. Isn't that right? Oh, my sweet little bear. My sweet little golden bear, yes. God bless you. God bless you. All right. And it just so happens someone is rapping at my door. Let's see who it is. Someone's rapping at my window. Well, I'll be gosh darn. It's another kitty cat. Hello. Oh my goodness. This kitty cat, her name is Zero. Oh, she is a beautiful creature. And indeed, Zero is a precious gray girl named after the dead dog from The Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh, she's a little skittish right now because the last thing she wants after being outside is for me to pet her. But she'll accept me for who I am. Oh my goodness. You know, some cats have blue eyes. Some cats have brown eyes. Some have orange. But Zero here has green eyes. Oh my goodness. You are gorgeous. You are a gorgeous creature. Okay. Go back outside now. Love you. You want to come in? Okay. Watch your paws. Watch your silly little paws. Oh, she likes it outside. And sometimes she just sits out there and watches me as I teach you kids, but not today because I am closing the blinds. Let's get into this book, shall we? Sit back, close your eyes, rest, and listen to a story about Tanya and Peach. This is a conversation, love letters sent between these two good friends. Dear Mr. Peach, I have something ridiculous to tell you. I should have told you this evening when I saw you chasing moths across the lawn, but I held my tongue and am now foolishly writing instead. You will say to yourself, here is another poor cat in heat trying to throw herself at me. You will hiss in my face. You will chase me from your garden. You will say, here is a stupid creature, barely more than a kitten, and she is carried away by the spring weather. I am in love with you. I have been since the first day you moved into the house next door. I thought maybe we could become friends. But that special feeling I have in my whiskers, do tomcats get it also? Has let me to know that friendship is not enough. Now, whether I'm lying by my kitty dish and contemplating my milk, or sitting in the window and watching butterflies, you are all I think of. I should have kept my silence, but every time I see you, I suffer from a want of strength. Tomorrow, all my inhibitions will return, and I think myself crazed for having written you at all. No reply is necessary from you now. In fact, I'd rather you didn't answer at all, for fear of what you'd response might be. Don't we all feel like that sometimes? Sometimes we get nervous to do what we know what we're supposed to do because we're afraid of the reaction that we might get. We're afraid of, oh no, will he have the same feelings for me? Will she want to remain my friend? Will the doctor tell me it's cancer and I only have a few years to live? We all go through that. Let's finish the letter. For now, I'm content to worship you from afar, foolishly, deliciously, and deliriously, with both ears quivering. Your most sincerely, Miss Gabbledoff. It's an interesting name. My dearest Tanya, do you think I hadn't noticed? You must think me a callous and worldly cat. Oh, what a sweet and ingenious kitten you are. I may not have felt it in my whiskers. No, tomcats are different in many ways, as I hope to teach you. But couldn't you sense my friskiness, barely contained as I played in the front yard with you last night? I saw you first among the geraniums this afternoon and thought, will she come over? Or will she chase bugs by herself? Yes, yes, my tail can barely contain itself. Meet me at my bird bath at midnight. Yours, all yours, Peaches. And this is what Tanya said. The bird bath at midnight, I am mad with happiness. I can't stop purring. And yet there are no hands petting me. Of course I'll be there. Deranged dog catchers couldn't even keep me away. I'll never know such joy as long as I live. Oh my goodness. Can you believe it? Cats have feelings too. Not only can they write letters, but they can love. Oh my. The next day, a letter from Tanya. My whiskers are still trembling. My tail and claws are on fire. That beautiful bird bath. I can never look at it the same way again. At first, I was worried you wouldn't show up, Then when you did, I worried the neighbors wouldn't hear us and throw shoes at us. But then, as if under a spell, I didn't care anymore. Let them hear us. Let them hear our love. I cherish. This is actually kind of inappropriate, so I'm going to skip a few lines. What a wonderful thing. Oh, tell me this cloudless heaven isn't a dream, she says. Your adoring Tanya. Man, huh. Looks like there was more than birds going on at the bird bath, am I right? Peaches writes back to Tanya, or at least this is what Peaches is thinking about Tanya. It is a dream. Perfect. Again, this is like bizarrely inappropriate. I'm going to skip that line. I thought, still there are miracles. That's appropriate. I had resigned myself to the cautious and predictable life of an aging house cat, but since last night, I haven't spent a moment without adoring you, without loving you and wanting to be near you again and again. Meet me tonight by the bird bath once more. Oh no. It's been 1 week. Uh-oh. It's been 1 whole week and Peaches is writing to Tanya again. Where are you? It has now been 3 days since I last heard from you. Why have you abandoned me? What have I done to deserve this? Every day I go out and you aren't in the geraniums. You aren't in my bird bath. You aren't up on the maple tree. I push aside the curtains with my nose and peek through the window every hour to catch some glimpse of you, but you aren't there. Did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Don't let me suffer in silence like this. Where are you? Where are you? Tanya writing back to Peaches. My beloved, I had no warning. Oh no. I was taken to the vets to get my shots, and they left me there for the weekend while they went to the beach. One moment I was sleeping in the window, dreaming only of you. The next I was being dragged away from my home in a cardboard box. What panic, what misery. I sat in a cage at the vets for 3 days. 3 days with some howling Siamese on one side of me and a whimpering puppy on the other. Only my thoughts of you kept me from going insane. Oh, my beloved, teach me again how tomcats are. I have to see you tonight. Meet me among the Delilahs by the back porch. I count the hours. Do you still love me? Or have you found another eager girl to take my place whilst I was gone? Love, yours, Tanya. Peaches writes back. I should be angry with you. How could you even suspect me of straying? Do you think I could ever forget you now, your soft silver coat? Your expressive eyes, your funny way of having a trilling deep in your purr that when you're in a particular mood, you are emblazoned on my tomcat heart. I count the hours as well, but let's not meet among the Delilahs. No. There are too many spiders there, and I'd be distracted fighting for your honor and for your safety. No, meet me at the bird bath instead. After all, it is our place. You know, and that's funny too, because sometimes when we text the person that we have a crush on, we wonder, like, when is it appropriate for them to text me back? Will they text me back? What happens if they don't text me back? Is it awkward if I text them like right away? You know, we all have those feelings, and a misunderstanding here could have turned into something pretty severe. But it sounds like all is well. Tanya writes back to Peaches the next morning. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. You make me feel as if I've been rolling in a field of catnip. I shall never be able to look at my bird bath the same way ever again. Oh no. This next letter is 4 weeks later. So you decided not to come last night. What is your excuse now? They wouldn't let you out. You dozed off on top of the television and woke up too late. You were inadvertently shut in one of the closets. What kind of feeble alibi am I going to hear this time? I've seen the way that hot little black cat looks at you from across the street. What do they call her? Spitfire? Well, that little minx better keep her paws off of you. Boy, oh boy, she thinks that just because she's part Persian, she's entitled to anything she wants. I happen to know that her grandmother was a mangy old half-breed who was involved with every alley cat in the neighborhood. Is that what you want? Hmm? Do I now have to paint my claws fuchsia and put colored bows in my hair to keep your interest? I await your reply. We walk away for 4 weeks and all of a sudden the poop has hit the fan. Oh boy. Peaches writes back. This can't be good. Really, you are too ridiculous. Your letter made me sick at heart. What happened to the eager young kitten I once fell in love with? Yes, I dozed off. I'm older than you are, and I have neither your energy nor your stamina. I certainly don't have your energy for recrimination. What can I do to convince you that my whiskers still belong to you? How can I convince you that contentment means sitting with you among the marigolds, your soft paws barely touching mine? Who is this strange black creature across the street you speak of? Why do you rant about her? I don't even know who she is. I certainly don't love her. Why do you want to tarnish our precious moments together with such nonsense? Let's never speak of these things ever again. I mean, I think that was a fair response. I mean, yes, he had a little anger. He was a little upset. But I think rightfully so. I think if Bay accuses you of wrongdoing, I think you're allowed to feel a little frustrated. I mean, right? It happens. You keep your eyes to yourself and yet you hear it anyway, right? Guys, don't answer. All right, now Tanya responds back to Peaches. My darling, I'm sorry I swatted you so hard last night. It was just an involuntary reflex, but really your claws were just in too deep to my back as you scratched it. I don't know what's been wrong with us lately. I can't help wondering if there's something both in us that rebels against too close of an intimacy, something that defies fidelity and romance. My feline brain is at war with itself. My love for you is in one paw, and then yet some dark, impenetrable instinct is in another. An instinct that seems to say to me, our kind will always be alone, separate, solitary. I cannot come to the bird bath tonight. I need time to think, time to study the walls, as they say. Perhaps in a few days we can get together again. Please try to understand. I just need to sort things out. Tanya, she didn't say goodbye or talk to you later. No love, just Tanya. It's easy for you to speak of time. You're still. Oh, this is Peaches responding back to Tanya. It's easy for you to speak of time. You're still barely more than a kitten. I'm 8 years old. My life is more than half over. These have been the 6 most glorious weeks of my life. I no longer waste my days dozing on the dining room table or staring into space dreaming of plump mice. I've discovered a new zest for living. For smelling the flowers, for clawing the sofa, for unraveling the toilet paper. The other night I found myself racing around the house, scurrying from room to room for no reason at all. I stopped and wondered, what's come over me? I'm not a kitten anymore. We have 15, maybe 20 years at the very most in this life. Who has time to stew and debate and hesitate and worry? Perhaps when you're older, you'll realize that time is the most precious commodity we have. Please come to the bird bath tonight. If nothing else, as a sign of good faith, of wanting to resolve our differences. If you like, we could just walk in the moonlight and stroll through the chrysanthemums. I hate that word. We could sit in the ivy. We don't even have to say anything. But just meet me. I'll be here at midnight waiting for you. I suppose then that I must interpret. This is, by the way, the next day. This is a new letter the next day. And no response from Tanya, so I don't know, it's not looking too promising for Peaches right now. I suppose then that I must interpret this as your final answer. I waited for 2 hours. After the first 15 minutes, my tomcat heart sank into misery. I knew you weren't coming, but I stayed and waited in the moonlight like a fool, watching the clouds roll across the sky. And I remembered that first wonderful night by the bird bath. And then that other night a few weeks ago when you brought me the fat grasshopper. And then the time we chased each other around the irises and up and down the grass until dawn. My darling, my angelic Tanya, whatever happens, even if you choose never to speak to me again, I shall always love you and cherish the memory of this summer. Remember that you changed a tomcat's life forever. Carry that with you always, no matter what. We'll always have the bird bath. You're adoring Mr. Peach. Oh, mute yourself. 1 month later, a note from Tanya. My dear Mr. Peach, I don't know why anything happens the way it does in life, especially to cats. I treated you so cruelly. I've been the cattiest of kittens. You probably hate me. I wouldn't blame you if you did. I saw you recently from my living room window. There you were on the grass, your pale fur luminous in the sunlight. I watched you eating grass. I watched you scamper after bugs, and I saw you looking up in the trees and over in our yard, and I knew you were looking for me. It pierced my heart. What can I say to you? You showed me how to track beetles in the moonlight, and you showed me ways to derive pleasure from whiskers, and how to play as if it wasn't even possible. The truth in that passion sometimes dies. It dies, passion does. It will seem like a weak explanation, but there it is. You told me once that I had changed your life forever. I must tell you now that you've changed mine. You've showed me things in the garden, in the world, that I'd never imagined were there. Please believe me when I tell you I will always have the deepest affection for you, even if the nature of our friendship has inevitably changed. I will always cherish the memory of this summer as the season of my first love. It was wonderful beyond words. Your friend, Tanya Gabbledoff. Oh, she friend zoned him. Such like women to just take your heart and tie it up and just lasso it around a room and bang it against all the walls and make you think one thing and do another. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 4 years later. Wow, how about that? Well, the story's not even over. 4 years later, Mr. Peaches writes to Mr. Beardsley S. Fur from Mr. Peaches S. Keen. Oh, so we are introducing a new character here. My dear old friend, after so long a silence, the devastation of my heartbreaking news, I have just received word that Tanya is dead. She was hit by a car while playing with a leaf that was blowing down the road. The driver, of course, did not even stop. They found her in the gutter. She wasn't killed at first, but was trying to crawl home. She didn't make it. A friend was kind enough to notify me of her death. As you know, she and her family moved from here 2 years ago. Tanya and I never really spoke again after the end of our affair. She avoided me, and I didn't press the issue with her. I never even completely understood why the affair ended. It just did. When she moved, I wanted desperately to go and say goodbye. But my pride wouldn't let me. The sight of the moving van disappeared down the street left me heartbroken. Heartbroken. I fell in the I felt in that moment like the most foolish cat who's ever lived. Of course, now there will be no reconciliation, no reunion. I knew there wouldn't be, but my heart always ached for it. I am very much an old cat now. I spend my days lying in the grass, if I go out at all. Too tired even to lift a paw and swat at the flies that pass. Please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. Mute yourself. Mute yourself. Too tired even to lift a paw and swat at the flies and that pass by or land on my nose. I am content in my own way, although the days seem to evaporate. One after another, like drops of summer rain on a worn pavement. I spent too much time remembering her. I still dream about her almost every day. Oh, Beardsley, why is life so cruel? Why should a bird bath be indestructible and live forever? But while Tanya only had a handful of years on this earth, if only you could have seen her. Oh, she was the most winsome kitten I'd ever known. No cat, no human, no god could have resisted her. She was like a fleeting light across the sea of darkness, and I shall never forget her. But then I couldn't, even if I want to. My best to you and your darling Greta, your friend, Mr. Peach. She's dead. I can't. All right. Listen, I need to get through this. We're almost done. Miss Thompsonia Luft. I don't know who this is. It's to Mr. Peach Keen. This is I don't know who this is. Dear Mr. Peaches, when I was cleaning out Tanya's belongings yesterday, I came across the enclosed envelope with your name on it. Please excuse the dust, but it was in an old box of favorite things. I have no idea what it means exactly, but I thought you would probably know and would like to have it. Tanya spoke of you often. I know she was very fond of you. Sincerely, Miss Thomasina Luft. And that's it. That's the end of the story. Oh. In the envelope. What were they called? They were the flowers that they used to sit in together. They were the flowers that they used to sit in together. She did love him. She did love him. Why couldn't she just admit her feeling? Why couldn't she just admit her feelings to him while they had breath? While they had life? Sorry. Sometimes when I get really emotional, I throw up. Oh, I don't even. You see, boys and girls, this is what I mean. Cats are just a beautiful creature that.
Dogs are better. Raccoons are better.
This removing you from the meat. I removed him from the meat. How dare he speak? I think we can all learn a lesson from Peaches and Tanya. Just reach for the stars, follow your dreams, and maybe one day you'll find your Tanya. I'm sorry. No.
Bye. Dogs are better though.
Oh, well, that's all the time that we have today. That's all the time we have today. May. Oh, you have a test tomorrow. You have a test tomorrow. Let's just not forget that. Make sure you study up. And study well, study hard.